All right, let's get right into it. We're about to decode a kind of silent power, the power to become what's called a calm observer, and to see people, like really see them for who they truly are. You know that feeling, right? It's probably late at night and you're just replaying a conversation in your head. Why do people's promises so often feel, well, hollow? They feel so real in the moment, but then nothing. Oh, you felt it. We all have. It's that weird gap where the words say one thing, but their actions are screaming something else entirely. They say they've got your back, but their actions just fade away. They promise to be there, but they're nowhere to be found when it's not easy for them. It's this universal thing, and honestly, it's just draining. So what's really going on here? Let's pull back the curtain on this unsettling truth. Okay, so here's where we flip the whole thing on its head. The illusion we all buy into is that people are these super confusing, complex mysteries. But the reality? It's actually way simpler. People aren't confusing, they're just inconsistent. And listen, the mistake you've been making, it has nothing to do with not being intuitive. It's that you were trained to listen to the wrong channel. You were tuned into their words when you really should have been watching their behavior. And that right there, that brings us to the absolute core secret we're talking about today. Behavior. It's not just another clue in the puzzle. It's the master key, the one that unlocks everything. So get this. This is the big idea. Behavior is the truth, the raw, unfiltered, undeniable truth. And words? Well, words are often just a performance, a script they've written to protect a certain image of themselves. But their behavior, that's the unconscious confession. That's the real story leaking out, whether they want it to or not. And just look at this contrast. Words are the rehearsal. They're about intention, about the self-image someone wants to project. But behavior, that's pure unthinking repetition. It's the reality of their conditioning. It's the programming that just runs on autopilot when the performance is over. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Patterns are more honest than promises. Think about that. Promises are just words in the air, but patterns are the truth, written over and over again. A person's repeated actions are the most honest crystal ball you'll ever find. Okay, so this is all great in theory, but how do we actually use this? Let's start decoding the signals that really truly matter. All right, signal number one, and this is a big one, pressure. You see, pressure doesn't build character, it reveals it. When things get hard, a tight deadline, a big fight, a tough loss, that carefully constructed social mask, it falls right off. Pressure doesn't make someone who they are. It just shows you who they've been all along. So when the pressure's on, what do you watch for? Do they start pointing fingers, blaming everyone else? That's a huge sign they avoid responsibility. Or do they own it? Take accountability? That's what emotional maturity looks like. What about a sudden need to control everything? That's pure insecurity screaming. If they just shut down and withdraw, that's fear. And if they escalate things, that shows a total lack of self-regulation. Okay, on to the second signal, and this one is just as revealing. Emotional reactions are almost always more honest than some calm, thought-out explanation. Why? Because a spontaneous, raw, emotional reaction, it completely bypasses the brain's filter. It's a direct pipeline to what's really going on inside. And trust me, these outbursts are never random. They are always defending something. That burst of anger that seems way out of proportion, it's defending their sense of control. That instant defensiveness, it's protecting a really fragile self-image. Sudden, intense jealousy, that reveals a hidden attachment they probably swore they didn't have. Every strong emotion is like a flare, lighting up exactly where they're most vulnerable. And now, for what might be the most reliable signal of all time. This quote says it all. Forget how someone treats you, or their boss, or anyone they want something from. Just watch how they treat people who can do absolutely nothing for them. The waiter, the cleaner, the customer service rep. When there's nothing to gain, the performance ends, and their true character walks right out on stage. So, what happens when you actually start seeing all these signals? Everything changes. You stop being a reactive pawn in everyone else's drama, and you become something so much more powerful. You become the calm observer. And this is the fundamental shift in your entire mindset. See, reacting is a loss of control. Every time you have that knee-jerk emotional reaction, you are literally handing your power over to someone else. But observation, just pausing and watching, That's the beginning of clarity. That's where you take your power back. I mean, just look at the difference here. The reactive participant is always confused, always drained, always getting surprised by betrayals that were, frankly, predictable. But the calm observer, they're clear, they're grounded, they see the patterns. They don't need to chase people for explanations because they just let the behavior do all the talking. They're emotionally precise, not emotionally tangled up in a mess. And what's the result of all this? 0. That's the number of times you will be genuinely, truly blindsided by someone's behavior once you start prioritizing their patterns over their promises. 0. Because you replace surprise with predictability. Okay, so this is powerful stuff. I get it. But how do you, actually start? Let's break down the very first, very simple steps you can take. It really just comes down to 3 simple steps. Step 1, acknowledge the gap. That's it. Just notice when someone's words and actions don't match up. No drama, no judgment, just notice. Step 2, observe one pattern. Pick one person in your life and just watch one of their repeated behaviors. Don't try to fix it, don't analyze it to death, just see it. And step 3, this is the most important one. Adjust your expectations. Quietly. Change how much you trust them or how much you rely on them based on the pattern you see, not the promise you heard. And this is so important to understand. Your most powerful response is not a big confrontation. It's not about calling people out or starting a fight. It's the quiet adjustment. Real power is that silent internal shift you make. It's you deciding, based on the evidence, how close you'll let them get and how much weight you'll give their words. And this is the ultimate payoff. This quote says it all. Clarity protects your energy. Clarity preserves your peace. This isn't about becoming cynical or cold. It's about protecting yourself. It's about being able to connect with people for real, without the illusion that's just bound to break your heart. So let's be really clear about one final thing. Seeing people clearly isn't about controlling them. Not at all. It's about freeing yourself. Freeing yourself from confusion, from being let down over and over again. It's about taking back your own peace of mind. So the real question is, once you have that freedom, how are you going to use it?